Welcome to the Football Yanks podcast, covering the English Premier League with a special focus on our fellow Americans. And now your hosts, Derek and Ryan.
Welcome to the Football Yanks podcast. It's EPL Week 12, and we are a house divided this week. We all just wrapped up watching Chelsea Spurs, where the Blues beat the bricks off of Tottenham.
I have no control over the sound effects. It's not
ice
really
cold. Nicholas Jackson with the hat trick.
Actually, today proved how bad he is.
And Palmer makes it 3 for 3 from the spot this season. What a game!
Hey, I need some access to sound effects. This is
and the final.
We don't have the right ones on the board for what you want to play.
Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. There we go. I can make my own.
Oh man, what a game that was! Almost as the announcers were calling out the battle for the bridge repeatedly. It was almost that like violent. I think I made the comment maybe just to Derek that it felt like I was watching a CONCACAF game in the first like a USA Mexico game in the first half at least.
From like the 20th minute till the 45th minute.
Yeah.
Or what in this case 12 extra, so 57th minute.
Right. Yeah. Which I like that rule, honestly.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't think that is the problem with the officiating structure that
I
would love to talk about today. But yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Congratulations to Chelsea.
Yeah, a lot to talk about in this game beyond the score line, which was spectacular.
Spectacular, but maybe
injuries.
Not accurate to the situation in the game.
Felt accurate to me.
I'm sure.
The injuries are probably a bigger concern than anything.
100%.
If I'm Tottenham, I don't feel that beat up. Well, once you go down to but if you go down to 9 men, at that point it's like, kind of like whatever. But the injuries that's a problem. Madison injured, Van de Ven injured. That's a huge. The Van de Ven. That's going to be a serious injury.
Yeah, I think the Van de Ven injury is the one that I'm most concerned about. It looked like Madison got taken off. It looked like it was like kind of a half and half. It was like, all right, we can make the tactical substitution and hold our last sub for later if we need it, and just get him off so we don't have to spend one frivolously.
Yeah.
So that felt like probably what that was, a little bit of both. I don't think his injury's bad, but Van de Ven's out for 3 months probably.
Yeah, that looked bad
for such a fast player. That's just like the injury that happens to quick players like that. And he was catching up. Like he was on the move when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad.
No contact, just pulled up. That's three. I'd be surprised if that's not at least 3 months. I mean, how many times have we seen Pulisic or N'Golo Kante do that as Chelsea fans?
James.
Yeah, we'll be buying a center back in the winter, without a doubt.
Yep. Yeah.
And not that Dyer did so poorly. It's just the drop off in pace is so clear to see.
Yeah.
Well, one of the hot takes before the game was that he was a bigger signing for them than Madison, which I vehemently disagree with. But in terms of criticality,
put him on the same plane. Maybe Madison changes the game, but Van de Ven really changed.
Well, that's the difference. I think there's positional value disparity there. But he's
how much was Van de Ven? Because I think that
55.
55.
Yeah, 55.
Madison was like nothing, right? It's like 25 or something.
No, I think it was like 45, but a deal in terms of what the larger market kind of usually.
It was a crazy bit of business.
Yeah.
Sort of like Nicholas Jackson was, just bagging goals for fun against the Spurs.
He puts
just
in three
walking him into the goal.
He puts 3 tap-ins in, and then he's sitting at like, I don't know, the 15-yard line, and he skies it over like a fucking field goal.
He put 4 in. 1 rolled off. One rolled off that was a great finish.
Do you think Haaland is worried?
That wasn't that great of a finish.
Yeah, Haaland, he's coming for Haaland.
He is not good.
He's coming for Haaland.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nicholas Jackson or Richarlison? Go.
Jackson. I wouldn't take Richarlison for free.
I don't care about your opinion. I
wouldn't take
Derek,
Richarlison for free, dude. Richarlison's terrible. Richarlison can't hold Nicholas Jackson's jock strap in the locker room.
Inaccurate.
Yeah, I actually don't have an off the cuff pick between the two of them because I think they both live next to Oscar in separate garbage cans. But dude,
I think they're pretty much probably on the same level with different attributes.
I don't. I really don't.
You've made that clear.
I'm like memeing about this game. Like Nicholas Jackson has had a rough season, but I would still take him over.
Okay, so just to be like to take off my hat, Jackson was not good today. Like just flat out not good. He tapped in 3 times, right? But he didn't contribute really to the flow play at all. He missed quite a few passes when he was holding the ball up. And he had some easy chances that he missed as well. So it's kind of like, get out of here.
I don't like how Luke comes in here every week with the same hot takes I have. Like the fact that Chelsea's not good and that Nicholas Jackson's not good.
And I would, here's my hot take from the game. 1 is that Chelsea are not very good. 2, which is maybe is not a hot take, but 2, Tottenham might have done more to prove their championship credentials in terms of a way of playing and a consistency of playing today. Probably proved more to me than if they had won 2-0. I think the way they
Are you sure about that?
I am absolutely sure, because in years gone by, and this is the proof, fans would have left that stadium at 3-1. But if you saw, and this is maybe why I was late on there, if you saw the stadium, there were fans cheering the entire, like almost the entire stadium there. I think that better proof than anything that they're at least a top 3 contender this year.
I just
because
think
the
it's
fans were there?
No, because of the quality of the performance was that good at 10 men, at 9 men.
But I wouldn't disagree with the level of performance by the players still there, but like
the level of maturity.
To go into a game like that and have 2 players sent off for just stupidity. And
the level of maturity is low.
Like,
yeah,
that's and we've
Romero
seen it from all
was
the
like,
top teams.
He was like trying to kill someone from the 20th minute on to whenever he got
sent
sent off.
Cucurella's hair.
Yeah, Cucurella wasn't even in the
calm
match
down either after 2 red cards.
Yeah. That's all right. So let's take this apart. So I'm actually just going to go through the timeline. So Udogie takes his first yellow card at 18 minutes. I don't know.
Sent off. Very could have gotten sent off.
Yeah.
If he touched him more.
Yep.
That was the 2 stutter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Foot.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where that was the beginning, and I'll mention it many times probably, where the consistency with which things are called doesn't seem to be there. Like if you're going in with 2 studs up, like I feel like maybe I'd have to go back and look. I feel like that's
if he touches him at all, it's a red card. If he touches him, but he doesn't really touch him at all.
I thought he did touch him.
I mean, he did touch him.
Fair.
But
maybe like the tippy toe of his big toe.
Yeah, that's the thing is he didn't make a ton of, like he didn't get it with the meat of his foot.
But here's the thing, right? Like the point of having that be a red card is what? To player safety, right? So if you're saying that it's okay to go in with 2 studs, if you just happen to brush them, then you're saying like you're encouraging to me dangerous behavior. Not to say that like I think they're being inconsistent here, like they are with everything else. I just think that's a good example of not doing the best to protect the players.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not doing justice.
Don't disagree with you. I think it's kind of half and half. You know, I think it's like an orange card tackle.
Yeah.
Yep. Kulusevski scored a goal at six minutes. Really bad. Like Chelsea came out in this game looking really bad, looking really energetic to me.
Yeah, lots of pressing.
Really bad.
Not a lot of quality, yeah.
So you'd say it was consistent with our prior play in this season?
No, actually I wouldn't. I would say that they looked uniquely bad. Like if you so like if you here's where I'm coming from with that. Chelsea has to this point in the season played really poorly against 5 at the back system. That's where they've like really suffered. They have no creativity to break down a block. And so that's where they've suffered to this point in this season. But against good teams that come at, or even bad teams that come at them, like Burnley had a terrible game plan for Chelsea and like came to play soccer, and they got beat up over it. Even after going a goal up, they still kept like coming at Chelsea, and that like Chelsea looked good against Liverpool. They looked great against Arsenal and just kind of fell apart at the end. Like a few, we talked about that. What was that, last week or 2 weeks ago? I forget when that game was. Anyway, so like they looked uniquely bad against Tottenham. Like the midfield, they weren't winning the midfield battle, which has kind of been the story of their season against top 5 competition. So like the trio of Fernandes, Gallagher, and Caicedo have been able, and their like pretty good back line, have been able to absorb the pressure from like top teams who come at them, and they've been able to break on the counter or like make it interesting. The first 20 minutes of this game, it felt like all Spurs. It felt like Chelsea were pressing. They were doing the things that they've done against other teams, and like Spurs were just having none of it. And then Kulusevski,
the goal is lucky, but the move is excellent.
Very lucky goal, great movement. Kulusevski is a really good soccer player. Like
so awkward, but so good because of it.
Yeah, he's really, really. Is he Swedish? What national team does he play for? Okay, yes. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I guess we shouldn't skip over that. So Tottenham go up 1-0. And then it like the wheels really come off this. And I think that like
one goal disallowed for offsides for Sonny. And then things just go.
Which I mean I've been thinking about this a lot. Like I wonder how you guys feel about this, and maybe this is a separate conversation about the way offsides is being handled in the VAR era. But like, I personally don't think. All right, so let's like the NHL, right? Goaltenders have been getting better, and they have been reducing over the years the size of the pads on goalies to try to make the games more interesting, to make it more or easier to score, as goalies have become more athletic and flexible and better at blocking. And soccer seems to be going the other way, where it's like if it's a fractional, like offsides by a hair, they're calling it back. And that just feels like, is that the spirit of this? Like, I want to be accurate. Like I like the goal of VAR should be for this to be accurate, but should there be some like leniency given to the attacker? So that one, we're not spending minutes every game, 10 minutes every game while these things get reviewed, and 2, just for the game to be a little more interesting and less like I don't know, like,
so it's like how like in with it for in the search of like the correct call, the game has just lost so much of its like richness.
Yep.
So and that like I don't, what we're looking for is not necessarily the right like the perfect call. What we're looking for, or we're not looking for the correct call. We're looking for the right call. And even though we're getting kind of quote unquote the correct calls in a lot of situations, it doesn't feel like the right one.
Yeah.
Is that fair? I think, to be fair, on Sonny's offside goal, which was ridiculously close, the linesman did raise his flag, and it was correct within millimeters according to the VAR.
Yeah, so, that's true. The linesman called that.
It does go, but later in the match with the whole with Caicedo's goal that was called offsides, that's even closer because they're looking at Jackson's back.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And within the process of that VAR, they then start looking for, or what feels like they're looking for, things to go wrong. And again, like I said, I'll admit that red card is for sure a red card by Romero. Like he shouldn't be swinging in there. He has enough leverage to just block,
Yeah.
Though I think it's a little unlucky within the player he is, but it feels just like they're starting to look for stuff while they're checking something else. And they should just let the referee make the call or take them off the whole fucking field. Like, what's the point of the refs? Every single thing should be stopped. Every throw-in, every small foul, if that's the way it's going, which I don't believe in personally.
Yeah, to take this game out of it altogether, did you see the Brighton game?
A little bit, yeah.
Did you see the fucking goal Dunk scored?
Oh, ridiculous.
I can't, they called that back. Like, as a fan, he was just barely offside. Like, when they had the lines lined up, they were basically overlapping, but he was an inch offside.
That's the biggest piece that's fucked up the game, is this stuff where not in 1,000 times watching it live would you think the person go offsides, but then you analyze it where their shoulder blade is on a computer and all of a sudden it's offside.
Yeah, I don't want to watch a surgeon go through this is just stupid.
And thus this thing today, what happened, right? If Caicedo scores that goal, we're 1-1. The temperature is still hot. It's still a really fantastic game of football. But because they take all that time to disallow the goal, they go searching for something else and they find it.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I don't think it's so insidious, but it just is. It's destroying the game. 15, 20 minutes is just waiting around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like there's very easy ways to execute this much better than
get rid of it.
And there's
I don't know that that's the right.
Well, it's not going to happen.
I don't want to get rid of it. Yeah, but it's something fundamentally has to change about this. And then you watch, I know this happened at least once this weekend. I can't remember. It was the fucking Arsenal Newcastle game where what's his name elbowed a dude in the back of the head.
He pushed Jesus in the back of the head, back of the shoulders.
Yeah,
it led to a goal, and Arteta's freaking out. But there's a perfect example. Let the referee make the call, and just complain about the referee making the wrong call.
I'm not even taught. Did you see earlier in the game?
Oh, this is earlier in the game. No,
not the push. Earlier in the game, that's it. What's that guy's the midfielder? What's his name on Newcastle? I can't.
Joe Ellington, Bruno,
Gordon,
Bruno.
I think it was Bruno.
Gimareles.
Yeah. Bruno. I forget who it was, but he just he did a drive-by and punched or elbowed a player in the back of the head. It might have been.
Yeah, I'm seeing a picture of it now. Yeah, that's pretty saucy.
Yeah. So because so we have VAR. We have video all over the pitch, and we've got a room full of refs who are watching this. And we're going through with a fucking scalpel on goals and making sure that down to a millimeter everyone was onside and nothing happened. But a player does a drive-by, throws a sucker punch at a player, and there's no mechanism for them to be you need to look at this, stop the play because he didn't give a yellow card, right? Or the ref on the pitch didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm watching that now. It looks like it could be and it could not be. Again, I see. That's one that I would leave it up to the referee. If they didn't see it, we have to keep going. That's not that bad to me.
You don't think that that's bad?
I think it's pretty bad. But it's
did it on purpose.
But
to me.
Yeah, it's hard to get into the psychology of the player, which I actually think that it's a fair argument to have one way or the other on this. But if it's a fair argument to have and there's this subjective thing and it's been called one way, just keep the game going and deal with it with a suspension later. I think in the terms of watching a football match as a spectacle, as an entertainment spectacle, like this kind of stuff, it has to be left up to the referees.
Sure. So where I'm coming from, I guess, is if on goal scoring opportunities, you're going to go through it with that level of precision, but then the rest of the game is just this random mess. Like, it's really unsatisfying for me as a fan.
I agree with you entirely.
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be more thought put into this because
the scalpel needs to get duller, and it needs to find a way to pull out bigger parts of it and deal with those, and not the minutia.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
And today's spectacle is ruined because of that huge amount of time.
Yep. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
So yeah, Romero red card. Then we talked about that and the goal from Caicedo, which was a great finish. That would have been wonderful for him if so that's the other thing, man. Like the Romero gets a red card, which changes the game, and Caicedo loses his first goal as a Chelsea player.
And I thought I saw a similar situation in the Forest game where the guy was within inches of the ball going by and they let it stand as a goal. So I feel like that's another one where like this whole "are you interfering with the play" thing is not being
well, Jackson played the ball, didn't he?
No, he was just in the vision of the goalie.
Man,
that's what I mean.
That's even more ridiculous than. How did I miss that? I thought he played the ball.
So it's like at that level, wouldn't here's a question for both of you. Would you have rather seen the game go on at 11v11 with a goal each? Like there's no penalty, so there's no red card because there was a goal scored.
Yeah.
Like And that is the heart of the game, and it's being kind of pulled away, I think.
Yeah, I just don't know how you get there, like, in that situation. Like, what modification specifically do we make in that there, just other than not having VAR?
I did think Romero's foul was bad. It
wasn't good.
Like, trying to not fanboy here. Like, I don't have like a huge problem with them reviewing that and giving him a red. Like
that was the one where he got ball, but he came in over the top with the cleat.
He came right through the middle of the ball and just
I will say that has been pretty consistent outside of like the level of contact, like that exact play. Whether it was Gusto earlier in the season, I commented on it. Whether it was today, like I think they've been calling that as a red pretty consistently. At the same time, like. Are all those deserving of a red? I don't know. When you're getting the ball, I don't know.
Yeah, they call that all day unless it's who was that against Arsenal that was just
unless it's called a goal.
People.
Unless there is a goal. If Caicedo scores that goal and it's a legitimate goal and they don't draw the crosshairs like there's a pube between them, it's a goal and the game moves on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they can't bring it back because a goal has been scored.
Right.
So and even that little intricacy is problematic because they should be able to come back maybe and say, no, that's a red card. You can't do that in any phase of the game. Goal, red card, away.
Yeah,
and that's essentially what happened. So maybe
so ice cold. Cole Palmer steps up and sinks it.
Dude, Guillermo is such a good goalie though. So close to saving that.
Vicario,
so
it's great attempt.
Yeah, he what did you guys like bought? Where did he come from? You guys bought them like a 6-pack of beer and they sent him your way.
Yeah, it's a Torino maybe. No, maybe not a small club.
What
Torino,
a
Italy,
fucking goalie Vicario is. He's all over the place. I was going to talk about oh God, what's his name? Everton's goalie. Pickford. Yeah. I was going to apologize for like I know earlier in the season I was like surely England has a better number one than this guy, but like he looked really good in Everton's game against Brighton, like made a lot of like really good decisions coming off his line to like stop a counter here and there. Vicario is on another level. He's all over the place, and like the scoreline doesn't flatter him. But like, what are you gonna do? It could have been so much worse if he wasn't so on it. Like, yeah,
Nicholas Jackson would have bagged 5 or 6.
Yeah, I know. Man of the match, Nicholas Jackson, would have gotten.
So if you were to actually pick a man of the match of Chelsea, do you guys have a pick?
Nicholas Jackson. He's 9.5 on Who Scored.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd probably go Palmer. Probably go Palmer.
Absolutely. Palmer. You know, in that first 25 minutes where Tottenham were absolutely rampant,
he was the only...
Palmer was the only one who could take a deep breath, keep the ball, and keep going.
Really he does impressive. A lot of dirty work in the build-up now that we were sorely missing before he was in the team sheet.
He's everywhere. He's drops so deep, and he's so composed. It might have been in the lead up to the Caicedo no goal, the ruled off goal. He was surrounded by 3 Spurs and
had a touchdown.
He's really what a pickup that was.
Again, peanuts as well a little bit too.
Yeah, 40. It was like 40 million euros or some pounds.
Feels like peanuts.
Yeah. Gallagher, I thought was good too.
Enzo was poor.
Enzo didn't look great, but that's probably not his style of game.
Fair enough. Yeah, he wants a little more control.
Yeah,
I did like seeing him try and shoot somewhere other than directly at the goalie, and I'm not even being facetious.
I'm glad the opposite place.
Yeah, like as long as it's not going directly at the goalie, like I'm okay with the attempts. Like even like the game before, he was getting frustrated because he's like, "Wow, I just dinged another right at the goalie." It's like, yeah, man, let's not do that down the center line.
Derek texted me, I think, last week and was like, what sort of shooting practice do they have Enzo Fernandez doing? And I was like, I want to know what shooting practice they have Jackson doing. And he said, oh, well, that's
only
easy.
In front of the goal. Only in front of the goal.
He said that's easy. They're just putting the target on the ceiling.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Boy, he proved me wrong.
Yeah, I know. With this,
accurate.
Did you guys notice the ridiculously high line that Spurs were playing with 9 men?
Yep.
I've really never seen that in my whole which I kind of appreciate actually.
What kept rolling around in my head was when they brought in Postecoglou, I like watched a lot of footage of his teams and watched some like interviews with him and stuff. And he's said in interviews that he'll go down like 1 or 2 men and he will just keep pressing. And he's said in interviews, it's the only way I know how to play. It's the only way I tell my players to play. Like, we go forward and I don't care if I lose like 10-0. Like that's the way we play. That's my style. Yeah.
He says to Fabrizio Romano tonight, it's just who we are, mate. It is who we are and who we'll be for as long as I'm here. If we go down to 5 men, we'll have a go.
Yep. Yeah.
And you got to appreciate some of the chances they had.
Yeah.
Dyer's offsides, looking at a little bit of a different game, and Tottenham's, Son as well in the end.
Well, it worked for a bit too, right? So like you saw how many times we get called off sides, and my reaction in my head was, oh shit, he knows how bad we are, and he's this line.
But yeah, that's the he is consistent. I saw that quote that you just read with like every team he's ever been on, like back to when he was coaching Australia. Like it is who he is, and he'll demand that from his team.
Here's a question about the VAR. I'm sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions. Here's a question about the VAR offside stuff. You know how the assistant referees are not to put up their flag if it's not like 1,000,000% sure, right?
Yeah.
For a team playing a high line like that, it's kind of a huge disadvantage because the amount of energy you have to exert to defend those chances that you're not sure are off or onside. I feel like that is an issue because some of the offsides, particularly in the beginning of that phase of the game, were pretty obvious, but the defenders had to run back all the way and defend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they had been getting better at that to some extent in the league, but you're right. Like this was a complete regression in some of how like bewilderingly obvious some of those offsides were.
In the first half, it happened too. And the second half, I just thought it needed to happen earlier.
I like the guidance to let it play on.
I agree.
I think I'm in I don't know. I guess to that, like my response to that issue is don't put two psychos on the pitch and go down two men.
Romero definitely a psycho. Udogie is like 20 years old, so I forgive him.
Yeah,
Poro feels left out when he's gonna listen to this.
Dude, I was like, the way Poro was acting at times, I was like, they're gonna go down to three or get down by three men.
He looked the angriest of them all. Maybe because he was still out there.
Dude, when
he took like 120 Vyvanse and went on the field.
Dude, when
in the middle, he was like, "It was an XR."
Did you see the exchange between him and Sterling? Like Sterling just tripped and didn't make a fuss. Like he wasn't trying to draw a penalty. He just like fell and got up and like didn't make any like appeal to the ref for a penalty or anything. And Poro just starts screaming at him.
I like that edge.
The look that Sterling gave him was like, what's you're just unhinged.
What
like,
do you talk about in therapy, man?
What's wrong with you? Yeah,
I'm into it.
It was a great exchange. Like Sterling looked so confused about what was happening to him. Yeah. All right. So to wrap this up, so then Nicholas Jackson just goes on a second half tear.
He gets the ball rolled to him across the 10-yard line 3 times.
But I texted Ryan. I was like, "Do you see him finish on that offsides? That's good progress."
That is. It was. It is like you.
He's dialed in today.
Yeah, you want to see your franchise number 9 putting those away, even if it's offside, and he was. So he, to my mind,
and another one. To
my mind, he got 4 goals today. So Sterling with an assist, Gallagher with an assist, Palmer with an assist. So, and that Tottenham hung in there. I was like ready for us to lose this game somehow.
It looked like it.
It could have easily swung.
Yeah,
right? Like those offsides on
the offside on Sonny.
Yeah.
The offside on Sonny's goal. Yeah. If he's not offsides by again like maybe 4 like pube hairs, that's a different game.
Yeah, but I'll take that all day. Like watching Son fucking walk around sulking is like I'm gonna think about that while I fall asleep tonight. So
how do you hate Sonny? Like
I fucking hate Son.
Get the fuck out of here.
Ryan's been consistent on this for like 4 years.
We need to have a personal conversation.
I have hated Son. I can tell you exactly why I hate Son.
Wait.
Like 4 or 5
rehab.
4 or 5 seasons ago, he was like, all right, so I have an issue with, all right, let me, so Son, like 4 or 5 seasons ago, went on this tear where he was just clipping people like crazy, and he broke that one. I forget who it was. He like destroyed, he ended a dude's career. Snapped his leg in half.
That was Andre Gomez in Everton, and it wasn't Son that did that to him.
What?
It was Emerson Royale, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Or
it was
another
Son.
fullback.
Because I remember Son did look distraught. He got a straight red, and he was like crying.
But it wasn't Son. He got the straight red rescinded. It wasn't Son. I promise you. I'm gonna look it up right now. Keep telling me why you hate Son though.
Okay. So anyway, it was that season. Like I had to listen to every fucking week how great a guy Son is. He's the nicest guy in the league. And then I'm just watching him nuke players week in and week out. And it was the like asymmetry between what a piece of shit he was being on the field and like the commentary around him that I was just like, I'm going the opposite direction. Like I hate this piece of shit. So yeah, I will like watching him sulk around the field for that being rolled off. I've no it. Like I'll fall asleep with a smile on my face thinking about that.
That's always been my impression too since that season. Is he just gets a free pass?
Yeah,
and
my
sure
tinfoil hat theory is that it's because of the economic incentive of, especially back then, having a South Korean star in the EPL and like what that meant for the commercial value, like what a pass he got. He was like a darling in the media while he was just destroying people. So that's my take on Son.
So I think it was Serge Aurier who did it after Son tackled. They ran into Andre Gomez, ran into Serge Aurier and got the broken leg in that tackle.
Okay.
Son started the tackle, and it just led to Andre Gomez's life being over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand your hatred, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's fair.
It's fine. Yeah. I don't know. I wish all the worst for Son. Like I hate him uniquely among the Spurs. Like he's like my least favorite player on the Spurs for the like total asymmetry.
For the record, I dislike Richarlison more.
He's harmless though. He doesn't even get on the field.
He's not
he doesn't get on the pitch.
Anything, but...
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought so weird. Like bringing this game was crying out for Ugachukwu to like really like when Chelsea was struggling to keep 9-man Tottenham out of their box. Bringing in Ugachukwu would have been perfect. Instead, we wait until the 91st minute or something. Yeah, 91st minute to bring on Ugachukwu. Some weird like game management decisions from Poch, other than I guess Gusto for James. Like it was good to get James out there. James, by the way, I thought looked fantastic in this game.
Yeah, James is so good. He changes that team.
Yeah, there was a 1-2 he played with Palmer, and then
they looked good, didn't they?
Yeah,
I think the craziest part though, right, is like it almost seems like he just came back and was like in full form already. Like that's really crazy to me. Even as good as he is, like you'd think you need some time to gel, especially with like a new pairing like Palmer up there.
Yeah, I just think if he can stay fit, he's the best right back in the world. I really do think that. He's lost a lot of weight. Like you can see it too.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of noticed that as well.
Yeah,
he looks way fitter, which is a trait of Pochettino teams, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, also like nobody has like that I've seen anywhere. I don't think anyone's like commented on this, but my assumption is that they were like, you're going to keep doing your ligaments if you don't like lean out. Like you can't be running around the way you are if you're like with this much muscle on you.
Should I take some hints from that?
You need those hints a decade ago, dude.
Yeah. You had the wrong doctor.
Yeah. Watching Derek add peanut butter to his protein shake on the sideline and like doing like repping out on the bench at halftime.
Does that guy have a Vitamix?
Oh man. Yeah, any like I thought Fernand, like just scanning the pitch, Vicario I thought was great. Udogie, it's too bad. Like I thought in general that's the worst I've seen him this season. Like for the most part I've thought he's been spectacular. And so two really dumb
Basuma
fouls.
I thought was really good actually. Like I think for like having such a lonely hard working role. Bentancur looked good when he came on. He held the ball well. Had a really good chance.
Talked about Kulusevski. I hope Son gets hit by a car. Man of the match, Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah. You should make a meme.
Weird. Bentancur
look so good in a couple of years.
What is who scored's issue with Bentancur? I agree with you, but they gave him a 5.6. Did he?
I think it was the amount of time he was on the field. I feel like those like rating systems are always skewed to people who come up come on like late in the game.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought he looked good. Like he looked like I noticed him and was like, oh God, this is a threat. Like I remember because he was involved in did he do the flick on to there were a couple times that it looked like he could have scored.
He did the flick on to Dyer, or he was part of that.
Yeah. Thought Gallagher looked good. Caicedo robbed of a goal. And I thought he looked okay. They didn't give him the greatest score on here.
He was like a little improved, but he's really not hit the ground running.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had literally no preseason and is at a fucking dumpster fire that's still figuring itself out. So
that was the most realistic comment I've heard on this podcast.
Sanchez just scares the shit out of me. Levi Colwill, I thought looked okay, but he when he started to melt down, I got worried. We really didn't.
Did you?
Yeah, we really didn't need that. We were already up a man, and he was just losing his mind. Ugachukwu was on for 2 minutes and took a yellow. What? I missed that.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, the Derek Olachu man of the match goes to Ugachukwu for his efficiency. That's the kind of output we're looking for.
On a per minute basis, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Mudryk, I would have liked to see him in the game sooner, because this is exactly what he's there for.
Breaking a high line,
the
passes they played to him weren't good enough for him to get at the end of them, but it was the right substitution.
That one cross he had, that just, oh my gosh, like a 80-degree angle off his foot, just straight into the fans.
Yeah,
he needs to improve his quality.
Yep.
Still so fast.
He's crazy. He's just a freak, like an athletic freak. Yeah. I don't know.
Glad that game is over. That was very stressful.
I was having a great time.
Did you drink a glass of scotch after the game or a bottle of scotch?
Luke, for context, Luke was like, I'm breaking my sobriety. Give me 5 minutes. And we sat in this room for 15, 20 minutes waiting for Luke. So I don't know what happened.
It might have been 2 drinks. God damn it. So why don't we get to the rest of the league? What happened this week?
A lot, really. All right. Well, what order do we want to go in? I watched probably half the games this week. We can Man U, Fulham.
Lucky to get out with a win.
Very lucky.
Whatever.
Should not
Fuck
have
those
won.
guys.
Whatever. It's just sad to watch. We don't have to keep. Oh man, this has become like the Manchester United hate group. It's like we found our solidarity and our hate for Man United.
Yeah. Well,
can I ask a serious question about that game though? What position is Harry Maguire playing now in that system? Because sometimes I see him playing target striker. Sometimes I see him.
Depends how bad they are that day.
I mean, have they just embraced the fact that they're not very good? Like Harry Maguire's their best option, both on offense and defense.
I'm afraid I may need to back off my endorsement of Højlund. That might have been premature. He still looks like he needs a break-in period. I do think he'll come good. Of all their signings that they've made, I think he's probably a good one. We saw the ghost of Mason Mount for a bit in this game. Fernandez bails them out again, which is kind of the story of their season. Just there's no system, there's no cohesiveness to this team. They do not look good, and then they have these individual moments of brilliance that will sometimes get them a win. But man, they don't look good.
Yeah, the PGOT guys have been ripping them a new one about the lack of any tactics that on display. But, with those kind of guys playing winger, I'm not sure. And then Mason Mount doing nothing. I'm not sure what other tactics we're supposed to use. But.
Yeah. Martial made an appearance. I I don't know. But yeah, to me, the moment of this match as a U.S. men's team, I think I tweeted about this, was Anthony getting fucking ruined by Jedi Robinson. That was a
Jedi Robinson's good.
Just a standout moment. Did you see this, Luke?
Yeah, like did he upend him or something like that?
Yeah, so like Anthony tried some bullshit on him, which like there was no reason to, right? Like Anthony will have like he'll receive the ball and he'll have like four people making a run in front of him, and he has the option to pass it to any of them, and he's just like, I'm gonna do step overs. Like I'm gonna beat someone, it's gonna look great. Like I think I saw it described somewhere as like this particular clip as like what everyone does in FIFA, like where like you just use the left stick to try to do some tricks, and yes, you get
right stick.
You get the ball, the right stick. Yeah, you get the ball taken off of you, and then like you immediately do a revenge tackle, and that's like exactly what happened here. And Robinson just like popped the ball over him as Anthony slid under him. He sucks, man. That's a terrible signing that is never going to come good. He's
until he gets sold to Saudi Arabia.
Bad. Yeah. He's really,
you know where
really
that's
bad.
Going too.
Yep.
He's the perfect player for that league right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Too bad United sucks. I think the league is better with a good United in it, but it's just so easy to hate them. And Fulham look good too. I think Fulham won't have a problem staying up. I think they're not a bad team to watch.
Yeah, Fulham looked like pretty good in this game.
Struggled to score.
I think it was Polina could have had a goal like fairly early on, and just sent it wide if I remember right. I don't know what else I have to say about this, other than when you asked or when you remarked that this podcast was becoming the Man United hate group. I would submit that the whole world is the Man United hate group. Like it's I don't think anyone likes them, and I've taken to just trolling Man United accounts on Twitter for fun. Like I like had not done social media in my adult life until this podcast,
and now you're on X.
Yeah, now I'm on X, and yeah, I just like there's like United Radar. I think a couple weeks ago, I like really got like one of these accounts worked up, and it's pretty cathartic for me.
Yeah, I mean, and like the way I think about this stuff, right, is you want to, it's cathartic, right? And like, why not direct it at those who most deserve it? And like, it's so clearly them at this point that why not? Just make it a free fire zone.
Yep. Oh, the ESPN headline for that game is for the Chelsea match was endless VAR drama just popped up on my phone, which is like a fairly accurate description, I would say. Shout out to Carol on Twitter, by the way. So we're like starting to get a little bit of engagement here and there, and I assume I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, they, I should say, reached out and said that they're enjoying the takes on the show, and they live in the UK, so like we've gone global, guys. Yeah. Anyway,
the globally listened to podcast.
Yep.
Let's think about the ramifications.
We have like a weird. There's like a weird contingent of like Germans who listen to this. Like when I look at the statistics, I guess it could be what are they?
Expats?
No. Where you spoof your internet location. I can't believe this is VPN. I can't believe that is escaping me. I'm the one out of the three of us that works in IT
stuff, right? The Wi-Fi's.
Software engineer, and I can't come up with VPN. All right. So I think that probably wraps up United, right?
Yes.
How far into this are we?
50 minutes.
All right. Yeah, let's like try to rapid fire some of these, and we'll have to table Yanks in the ranks for next week.
Cool.
You put Sheffield Wolves.
To be clear, I just put these types of games in here because I think I'm contractually obligated to. I really need to talk about Sheffield.
It was good to see Sheffield get a win, and
Yes,
like
agreed.
I had. Again, it happens to me again where I'll like praise someone and then they'll just fall apart the next time I see them, or in this case a team.
Yeah.
Like I was just talking about how positive Wolves have looked, and then they lost to the worst team in the EPL.
Wolves did have 62% of possession that game, but yeah.
Yeah, and it was too bad. I guess it was a pen. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, that was a tough way for the game to end. What is going on with Anel Amadozic? He's got to be injured. I haven't seen him in a while.
I think he and Callum Hudson-Odoi are like hiding on an island off the coast of Spain. It
just says unknown injury. So he just has like a mystery injury and has been out.
Well, and Hudson-Odoi was doing a whole bunch of media about how he was feeling great, and he's gone too. Like, I don't know where he went.
Well, he went to Nottingham.
And, he's at Nottingham, but he hasn't been playing for weeks.
Yeah, he hasn't even made an appearance.
I can't
on the
find
bench.
out where he is. Like, I can't figure it out, like his whereabouts.
Is that something you look up a lot of people? Where are you?
No, it's like, well, we talked about show for like three consecutive podcasts. This is like 4, and I was like, I should do my job and figure out where this guy is and why he's not playing. And like, there's nothing out there. Like, I think he's a witness protection or something.
I don't know what. Did you guys ever go to the? This is bad because I think he's dead now. There was a website that was like, is DMX in jail? And it was just a website that updated whether he was in jail or not. And for some reason, this like tracking down what's his name, Hudson-Odoi made me think of that. Like, we need a where's Hudson-Odoi website. Where
in the world is Hudson-Odoi?
I feel like that one's going to get less traffic than the
much less
site,
traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sheffield have a performance in them. They were at home. I think that's a good win for them. These relegation looking teams, the Burnleys, Sheffields, Bournemouths.
Luton taking down the Giants. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, that was also a great thing to see. And I watched a lot of that game. Liverpool versus a counterattacking team really doesn't look that strong.
No,
but I thought, I thought Luton were good. Liverpool weren't. Glad to see Luton get a point.
Yeah, and
everything rolls on. It could have been one of the biggest upsets in Premier League history in some ways.
True.
Yeah. Yep. I have something for you, Luke. During that game, where is it? Oh, right. Yeah, my brother texted me, quote, "Liverpool are real contenders," and attributed that to you, I guess, from last week's podcast. He said that during the.
I would say they are probably still contenders.
Yeah, they are.
Play that well against Luton.
That was unfortunate. I think you're still accurate. That's a better take than me saying the Wolves look great and Aston Villa looks great. Last, I couldn't even pile on with that sentiment because there were like 3 or 4 quotes from me that could be extracted from that episode.
Well, I feel like last episode we were kind of saying how the league is separated into like not that good and pretty dang good and maybe like one really fucking good team in City. And that there wasn't a lot of in between. This week kind of showed us that that's not entirely true. There's
so much. Yeah. It is the toughest league in the world by a lot. Like it's to winning the EPL. All right, so here's a question. Would you rather your team win the EPL or the Champions League?
Derek, you want to take that up first?
Champions League.
I would say the Premier League probably for right now.
Yeah, I think that. So obviously, there's the prestige of like European soccer, and like you have to be good across 2 seasons to win the Champions League. Is like you have to qualify and then you have to go out and win it. So that's like that makes it pretty hard,
especially for an English team.
Yeah, and then an English team, you're getting just like beat up with there's so much parity in the English league in the EPL that it's just I don't know. I would love Chelsea to win the Premier League. I mean, you're a Tottenham fan, so you'd probably just love them to win anything at all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Still 11 points underneath us on the table.
That is true.
Squatting and pooping in your mouth.
It's a project 2030, sir. We'll see you there. I'll be there with Simon Johnson in 2 years.
They really know how to run a football club. Thanks, Simon. You bankrupted Crystal Palace, didn't you?
Man, there were so many. We spent so much time talking about Tottenham Chelsea, as we should.
That was the live takes today.
But
we're all emotional.
Yeah. But what a weekend of games. I'm pulling these up as we go through the notes. West Ham Brentford, what a fun match this was to watch.
Yeah.
Mohamed Kudus, that was a great sign. I still can't believe that West Ham were even able to attract him. I thought he was such a talent, and I do not think very highly of West Ham. Them getting him.
What I like about Brentford West Ham, one, it was a great game, but two, it's kind of similarly styled teams.
Yeah.
I feel very much I feel a little watching that Thomas Frank is a little bit like the new David Moyes, because David Moyes was very much Everton was very much like a Brentford, just kind of really right in the middle, doing well, beating big teams, beating small teams, getting caught in the middle a little bit, doing a little bit of everything, but always a really strong presence. And I think that Thomas Frank has really done that with Brentford.
Yeah.
And I love that David Moyes keeps going along, even though they didn't win. I appreciate him.
Yep. Just does what he does and doesn't deviate from it. Who was it? It wasn't Moyes, but who was it? You were they're out of their decade. It was a coach. It wasn't Moyes.
Daichi, maybe.
Oh, it was Daichi. Yeah.
Though Everton's playing a little better.
Yeah, they are.
They're working. They're getting better. I think good signs from them. Though Daichi is still out of his century.
Yeah.
He worked in a coal plant before.
Yeah.
Got into football.
Yeah, I guess. So that's the next one on the list is Everton Brighton. Brighton. I don't this is
can't deal with it twice a week. Can't do it.
And I mean, I was saying this last week, they can't do it twice a week with the injuries that they have. Them losing, dude, I'm struggling with names so much today. Solly March. Huge loss. I don't know how long that's for either. That looked really bad too. To the level of Van de Ven. Let's see, Solly Marsh's injury. Him and Welbeck out for a long time, in quotes, is the latest on The Athletic. So that and they lost Enciso at the beginning of the season, and he was looking like a monster for the 2 or 3 matches they had him for before he tore his ACL or whatever it was. So luckily Adingra looks great. Ansu Fati has looked bright at times.
What does he have to do to get a start?
I don't know.
Who else has to get hurt?
I mean, I could see them wanting to get players they actually own out there. Yeah, it's kind of like what's happened to Andre Santos at Nottingham, right? He went there, he's a loanee. Then they bought a bunch of attackers, and it's well, why would we play this guy. Like, it's not on us to develop this player.
Well, you got to get Milner out there periodically so his joints don't seize up like the
Yeah. Got to keep Milner loose. He looked okay in this game. I didn't think Milner.
No, that guy can play anywhere on the pitch. It's kind of crazy. But
he's amazing.
What a professional, man. Yeah.
I think Fati is not starting. He just doesn't have the physicality to like make a difference in like 90 minutes. I think the idea is he can come in like the in between phase where players are getting tired. They're not going to be quite as on your back. He can come in and make a difference.
Yeah, I thought that it was a little surprising how long they waited to get João Pedro into this game.
That's where I was going to go next. Agreed. Is like, again, like how maybe he needs to be starting over Ferguson in that situation.
Or with him.
True. Yeah. He can play out wide, can he?
Yeah.
But
I think he can play as a 10.
Solves their problem, but
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that game was crying out, especially when they went down, for like the creativity that he brings. Him and Fati, like I thought they could have come on sooner, but like they've also got a thin squad, and they need to compete on the weekend, like you said.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna keep struggling, like as we've been talking about that lack of depth.
I don't even know how they're doing in Europe. Like, are they doing well? Does anyone know? I probably should know.
I just thought
I don't.
The Premier League in general looked like shit to start the Champions League, and I got frustrated with it.
Yeah, they're in Europa, not Champions League.
Okay.
My attention span on Europe has not been fantastic this year because my Paramount Plus membership kind of like got more expensive, and I was like, well, I need like 3 weeks of protests, and now I've
did they up the price?
Recaptured. I don't know. It just like said it did on my phone. I don't really know. It charged me or something, and I was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, I mean, you are right. It applies to European football, and also applies to some other leagues. The way that they're promoted and the way that TV rights work is not working to their advantage. The Serie A is a good example. That's on Paramount too, right? Like if it was on something like NBC where you could at least see some of the games, I think it would benefit them a lot.
Yeah. It looks like they lost to Athens, drew to Marseille, and beat Ajax 2-0 thus far in their group. So they could well advance from their group, and like that's not going to make how thin their squad is, like that problem, get any better, which like obviously they want to advance in Europe. But yeah, that's tough. All right, where are we at we're at an hour.
Talk about Arsenal.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this game was it felt like a CONCACAF game. Kai Havertz could have easily gotten a red in this game.
Was he trying to get a red?
I don't know.
What the fuck was that all about?
I mean, he's always had like a little bit of that like Rudiger shithousing in him. I think from the time that they played together at Chelsea, but
and
like
on Germany
and on Germany, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That goal was just a blender.
That was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that was an absolute.
I'm actually not even sure how I feel about that goal.
Yeah.
It was a really good reason why, if a goal is called on the field, we should give the benefit of the doubt to the goal.
Yeah.
It's just sitting around forever. I have no sympathy for Arteta's like girlish response. Excuse me, not girlish, like 12-year-old child response. This is a disgrace.
Luke said curlish. He didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not giving you a kind edit on that. So.
Fair enough. Nor do I deserve it.
Yeah. If you guys want to know how that happened, go back to where we were talking about Luke breaking sobriety earlier. And
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I could not deal with Arteta post-match. Okay, So I think that part of the issue too and this goes back to what we were talking about today. There's so much pressure from clubs getting put on the referees to make exactly the right decision every single time, no matter what it takes. That they're taking a longer time to figure out exactly what happened.
Yep.
And it's destroying the fucking game.
Well, so like
give the advantage to the goal scorer.
The best part of Arteta's meltdown, post-match and during match meltdown, is that I think it was 2 weeks ago he came out and said that the refs have a hard job and we need to support them. They're making tough decisions and we need to support them no matter what. And that like lasted right up until it affected him. And then he is just it just comes unhinged over the whole thing.
Managers need to have more of a level head when dealing with this stuff, or else it's going to get worse too. It's like the attitude around VAR, the pressure, and the referees themselves. Yeah. It's just a toxic situation. It's what happens when you go looking in search of the truth without understanding the reality of where you are and how the game works.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that Postecoglou took that yellow, or I thought it was in the moment. But on the other hand, I think it goes to what you're saying, which is I do like that they're being a little bit more aggressive, particularly with the coaches this year, to get them to chill the fuck out on the side.
Oh, he knew he was going to get it. No problem with the yellow card there. Yeah. I mean, after the match, responding to the decisions.
Yeah.
Like Postecoglou comes off and says, it's the way the game is. Like, I don't like it, but whatever. And there are managers out there that are screaming after the game. Understandably, they're upset, but like, it's just all too much.
Yeah, I don't like the look from Arteta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he seemed petulant. That was the word that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Just like Christian Romero. That raw dog, Christian Romero.
All right, real quick, let's do Nottingham, Aston Villa, Villa fall. I don't know.
I didn't see this one coming, and I talked about how disappointed I was. High on Forest, I got as low as I could have been prior to this game, and then they come and get a result.
Against Villa. Turner benched.
Looks great. I think we talked about him, I think, last week too, and I think that's kind of been a key piece for them.
Yeah, and we talked about how we thought Turner would keep his
he gets benched.
Spot, and he got benched. Yeah,
and that results. It's a tough one for Turner because he's not going to start the next match.
Nope. Yeah,
no chance.
So that's a loss for the U.S. team for sure. Martinez had a uncharacteristically bad match and like gave away a goal basically. Yeah. So
I mean,
anyway.
I guess like if you get 74% possession, you give away that goal Martinez did. Yeah. Like you can't say that like on the balance of the game that like Forest necessarily outplayed them, but they took their chances.
Yep.
Got a result.
Yeah. And then we talked about Liverpool Luton. Yeah, so I think that about wraps it for
we've got to talk about one thing either today or maybe a preview for the future. Saudi Arabia has the World Cup.
I did see that.
They're the only bidder.
Did you see that bullshit?
I wasn't sure if the news broke or you guys were just monitoring.
No, I read about this too. Did you see how they fucking did that?
Well, Australia dropped out at the last minute, I think. Before the deadline. FIFA gave like 2 weeks notice, like basically announced they were accepting bids and said you have 2 weeks to put your bid in. And like no first world nation can put a World Cup bid together in 2 weeks, because there's like you can't just stop the whole government to make it happen.
Because there's more than 3 people working in the government.
Yeah, and also like things have to be voted on, and like, what a fucking racket this was.
Yeah. And so remember we had talked, Ryan, on a couple podcasts about how I was like under this idea that Saudi Arabia could provide more financial benefit through ticket receipts, stuff like that. And you rightfully said, well, the U.S. has a much bigger market. They're the ticket sales are gonna be way higher.
Yeah.
But credit to the Athletic Football podcast, they kind of said both is right. Where in the U.S. the amount of money will be more, right? But in the Saudi Arabian kind of discussions around that bid, the Saudi Arabian government can offer a much higher share of tickets because they're all government funded, stadiums, municipalities. So all of the the percentage of the tickets much higher going to FIFA for, quote unquote development projects around the world than what would be allowed to happen in the US, because you're dealing with individual stadium owners, like goes down, Capitalism shows that FIFA does not, like, it proves to FIFA that they don't need to work with countries like the US, like European countries every year, because Saudi Arabia can give them a really quick buck. It's easy for them. The ticket amount price isn't as high, but the percentage and the control is way more to FIFA in Saudi Arabia.
My question with that would be, show me where this is actually being used on any sort of development
project.
Because it's not like, I think that is a really generous, my criticism of The Athletic, which I love The Athletic. I'm a paid subscriber of The Athletic.
Yes.
My criticism would be like, show me the development project, because I can't, this is just, FIFA's a criminal organization.
I put that in quotes. I put that that development in quotes. It'll be up to the Athletic to research where that money is actually going.
Yeah, because what would develop the game long term would be to promote it in the country that is the most lucrative commercial value, right? Like, because that's the long game, right? So you said a quick buck.
But the amount of effort they have to do into negotiating with the entities in Saudi Arabia to maximize their revenue, there's far fewer red tape, to get through.
Is FIFA a for-profit entity?
That's what are they? I assume that they are not a for-profit. I assume it's
No, but it's like anything else, right? It's like healthcare in the United States, right? It's not, you have a lot of nonprofits, but you've got admins making $350K a year to sign paperwork all day, right? So, I mean, somebody's profiting from it.
They are a nonprofit organization.
Yeah. Okay.
But that doesn't mean they can't generate revenue and give it out to whoever the fuck they want.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Well, going isn't equitable.
It goes to FIFA executives, like that's been
that's what I meant
consistent.
By admins was executives. Yes,
that's
exactly what's happening.
Like, if it takes a lot of work to bid these, to put these bids together with countries that have robust human rights and governments that what else is FIFA doing when they're not organizing a World Cup every 4 years, really?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I'm sure their day-to-day is really tough, like a lot of 60-hour work weeks.
I have next to zero sympathy for that entire sentiment. And it's not it doesn't need to go to the US either. Put it in Australia,
no, it's good to rotate it geographically.
Put it in Sweden,
right?
I don't know,
Well, they basically blocked every continent out from bidding for this World Cup, because they just covered the entire world in 2 World Cups, between the European, South American one. They've covered the entire world except Asia. And the only country, there are a minimal amount of countries that can make a substantial bid to an event like the World Cup in Asia.
Yeah.
So who do you think it's going to be? It's going to be Australia, maybe India.
I want to see a World Cup in Japan. That they have that's an up and coming country that I would
Korea.
love. Yeah,
well,
South Korea, Japan, joint
South
bid.
Korea 2022. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
2020 2002, excuse me.
Yeah. But yeah, Japan, their national team is they just beat the shit out of Germany recently. They've got great players, and the soccer culture there is developing. I want to see a World Cup in Japan. I don't want another World Cup with stadiums built by slave labor and these I don't know. FIFA can get fucked. I'll have none of that argument.
Far be it for me to say anything negative.
And that's a bad take
FIFA.
by The Athletic.
or Saudis.
I know they're listening.
Yeah, exactly. I
think the Athletic would agree with you. They're making essentially the same point, but the way they described it in terms of the financial benefit and how it was structured differently in a country like Saudi Arabia is interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, Derek, what were you saying?
No, I think you guys can encapsulate it, right? I think for me, I'm on the record on FIFA and the Saudis and all the points that Ryan brought up about the human rights and kind of what the dynamic is there. It's only benefiting one group of people.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like FIFA is the Volo of the world.
I don't know
how much of our audience, we just lost everyone with that joke.
Polo controls it all in Baltimore City,
but it's for the kids.
Luke's gonna get a letter from the commissioner next week. He's be like, "We have a commissioner."
You cannot sign up for Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, the last quick shout I'll get out there before we wrap is I know I sent this to Derek. I don't know if I sent it to you, Luke. Anthony Taylor was demoted after just a series of bad calls. I didn't think a ref could be demoted, but if any of them should get demoted, it's that piece of shit. I fucking hate Anthony Taylor. That guy sucks at his job. He's easily I think the ref, I always forget his name, the ref that refed the Tottenham Chelsea match today. I still think he's the best. That's not saying much. Oliver.
Yeah, it's fucking twat.
It's the
Tottenham fans hate him.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking
told
RA.
me the same thing.
He called the cops when I was smoking weed in my dorm.
that actually is believable.
I'm just kidding.
I think he's the most consistent ref. I don't know. I haven't looked at statistics on this, but I have looked at statistics on Anthony Taylor, and he is a historically bad ref and should just be removed from the pool entirely. He shouldn't be reffing the championship. I wouldn't put that evil on them. So
that's a good point, right? I understand why they have a tier system, right? But if you're that bad, how is it fair that they just lob them into another league and be like, here you go?
Yeah. You know why I looked into this is he made, I forget what it was. It was an insanely bad call in a Chelsea Man United game. I think Cucurella was dragged down by his hair or something. And then
the foul in the box with him pulled pull.
And then
that was pretty bad.
Harry Maguire shoved Azpilicueta over for a header to win the game or something. And anyway, and it was just this string of watching him ref games where I was it's the same bald fuck that is always getting this so wrong. And so I actually pulled
long, motherfucker.
Yeah, I
and we say bye-bye.
I pulled the reffing data on when FIFA had or the FA has had to apologize for bad decisions, and he's a complete anomaly. He's an outlier in terms of how bad his calls are consistently. He should he should lose his job, period. He shouldn't be reffing the championship. But yeah,
it would be better if they just reset his ranking or whatever, right? Send him back down to the bottom and make you work your way back up. If you're good enough, then you get back up. Then
it's like a game over. Are you comparing this to Legend of Zelda? Game over.
Or Mario, where you the original Mario, where
you get smaller again.
You lose your 3 lives and you start over. Yeah.
No consequences.
I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah.
All right. That's good ending. End on that.
All right. Well, I think that covers it. We have a Discord, and that link will be in the description for the show. We have a website we sporadically release content to. We're sporadically posting on social media. We all have jobs, so we're doing our best with all that. But
I write content every week, but Ryan doesn't approve it every week. So
what is that true? Did you get me something last week and I just didn't see it?
Yeah, I probably need to make sure it gets posted. That probably should be part of the content.
Dude, if that happened, I'm sorry. I just whipped on.
I think that's the onus is equally on me in that situation.
All right. Well, Derek writes content every week.
Who knows where it's going?
I'm also starting a popular a political campaign to get me control of buttons and noises.
Yeah.
So if anybody thinks that, you should reach out to the group and reach out to our email on our website and email us.
Yeah.
It's a political action committee for buttons.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll work on that. That's actually a software issue that we need to sort out. I used to have control of it, but Derek is a lot quicker with the trigger, so we swapped it over to him. But, yeah. All right, that's a pod. Thanks for listening and subscribe, do all that stuff. It helps us out, and we'll catch you guys in a week.
Thanks, everybody.
Go Chelsea.
Come on, you Spurs!
Thanks for tuning in to the Football Yanks podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. We'll see you next time.